Hey everybody, what's up? Today I've got a special video for you guys. It is the review of this game called Hero Siege that you can find on Steam. And it's a pretty cool game. I'm going to tell you why it's a cool game. And like the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, this game has a lot of similar elements, and that's why I like it. I like games like this. So let's dive into it. Since my new laptop is up and running fully and everything's converted over from my old laptop as far as making videos, I can now do some Steam games that I've been wanting to cover, and this is one of the first ones that I wanted to cover. The developer for this game was kind enough to offer me a copy free of charge. Kudos to you, man. You rock, dude. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I used to play this game a lot in the past, actually, like a year and a half ago, back before my PC exploded. Those are good days. This game has changed massively from that time and has since been officially released, so that's pretty cool. I actually would have had this video out a bit sooner if it weren't for my Elgato giving me a ton of trouble trying to get it to work with taking the video and the audio at the same time, so I've had to since then use OBS. Anyway, diving into the options, we have, you know, your typical full screen and all that. The darkness setting, I'm not sure what that does. And the scanline setting is good for those who are retro. Now, this game does have voice acting, but at times it can be kind of cheesy, cringy, just a little bit, you know, kind of amateurish. You know, nothing against the game really. It kind of, in a way, lends the game some special flair. You know what I'm talking about. So, all in all, I prefer it off, but that's just me. You can play with keyboard and a controller, and I prefer controller. And there's also two-player split screen. And as you can see on screen, there are two different ways to do it, and that's pretty cool. This game also offers online 4-player multiplayer, gauntlet style. So that's pretty sweet. So now it's time to dive into the classes. We have 3 melee classes and 4 ranged classes right off the bat that comes standard with the game. And then you have 3 classes that are tied behind DLC. The game itself is $6, and the DLC is $3 a piece, with the Amazon character only being $1. So all in all, $13 if you want all of the content. And there's a lot of content here, guys. Gameplay-wise, you can expect a game that plays a lot like the Binding of Isaac Rebirth as far as gameplay goes. Now, there are currently 6 different acts, with 4 of them being in the base game, and the other 2 are part of the downloadable content. There are skill trees and attributes, and you can level them as you level, so there's a good amount of depth here with all of the classes and leveling and all of that combined. There are also relics, which are a lot like the items that you get from the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, except a lot of the relics in this game are mainly offensive. Sometimes they're defensive, but they usually follow 3 standard types of offensive characteristics. The game also features a variety of 5 different difficulties, and there's a lot to go through if you want to go through all difficulties. And the game also allows you to play on hardcore, which means if you die once, that's it. You're out. Under normal circumstances, though, when you die, you lose all of your relics, but you get to keep all of the equipment that you find. Now, I also do apologize for any sluggishness in the video. While I'm usually, in the past, I was proficient with open broadcasting software, OBS. I'm still tweaking it for this current computer. So, for the moment, it should be fine, but I will continue to tweak it for future videos. When playing a ranged character in this game, the gameplay is actually pretty similar to the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, except the areas that you are exploring are much larger in size, and I wouldn't say a good deal more random, but everything in this game is random. From the way the whole area you're in is set up, to the boxes and pots laying around, to the occasional dungeons and crypts that will pop up between rounds, and each area like this is broken up by 6 waves, and you have to kill a certain amount of monsters to pass on to the next wave. And sometimes, like I said, those dungeons and those crypts can spawn, and those oftentimes are also random and can have a variety of enemies, traps, loots, and there's always at least one boss in those dungeons as well. And then after the 6th round, you fight the boss of the area and move on to the next area until you've completed Act 1 and go on to Act 2, and then you rinse and repeat, and that's essentially what the game offers, which is pretty cool. I love just how random it all actually is between the kind of enemies you get, and sometimes enemies will have there'll be elite and mega elite versions of the enemies with special names and special colors, and they're bigger and they hit harder, and the game is brutal, absolutely brutal, especially starting off. The only way you can heal is by killing an enemy and then having him hopefully drop a red orb for you. Oh, it is just, it's the kind of brutal that gets me all addicted. I love that brutal gameplay. And because I like to pretty much exclusively play on hardcore, I usually always lose my character before I complete Act 1. Normally, when you play on normal without hardcore mode, like I said, when you die, you don't lose everything, and you can still get more powerful as time goes by, because the act that you're in, once you've died, the act resets. So you can just kind of compound on all of the equipment you get and continue to get new relics. So overall, eventually, you will just get farther and farther. Graphically, the game is pretty charming in its two-dimensional artwork. The animations for all the characters and spells and abilities and blood and gore is all pretty top-notch. The guy has definitely improved his work. The developer who worked on this has definitely improved over time, and his art is just getting better and better. I've seen some of his new stuff on Twitter, and I'm just like, damn, I couldn't do that in with 5 years of training, you know? The game will run well on pretty much any setup you got out there, you know, laptop or desktop. And I wish this was coming to PS4, but it's not in the cards right now. That said, yeah, it runs pretty great, even for my laptop that has a great processor, but virtually no graphics card. So, the only reason it's 30 frames per second in the video is because of OBS being a resource hog. But if I was using Elgato, it would have been 60. And this is one of the dungeons that I was talking about earlier. Usually these dungeons can be super, super deadly, as they will spawn enemies that have a lot of health, so you have to be really careful, and the traps do a percentage amount of damage to your health, which can be really, really hairy. So you gotta watch out for those. And all the layouts, boxes, treasure chests, they're all random. You have your regular treasure chests that can drop loot and can drop keys to bigger chests. The golden chests will often give you a variety of really powerful equipment that has a bunch of stat bonuses and sometimes active bonuses, like if you swing your weapon enough, you'll have a small chance to shoot out a bunch of fireballs. There's some really cool effects in this game, and like the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, your character can get insanely powerful with all sorts of weapons and skills and skill abilities flying off everywhere on screen, creating this just bloody awesome chaos. And the speed of the game really picks up as you continue to level. I would have shown off some of that gameplay, but because I play on hardcore, I rarely can get that far. Now, if you look at the user interface at the bottom, you'll see I have these blue gems and what looks like blue keys. Now, the blue gems themselves are a premium currency of sorts that, you know, don't worry, you're not going to have to spend any real money on. You just collect this currency after beating bosses. Anyway, you're going to save up this currency to buy different cosmetic options for your character, like a variety of hoods and hats and different faces and masks, and oftentimes a lot of them reflect the industry standards. Like you'll get like a Zelda hood with the hair, or you'll get that rubber horse face going on for your character, or even something from like World of Warcraft, and a variety of other cool masks and hats, and it's all really cool being able to customize your character like that. And see, it's really easy to die. Super easy, just like that. Bam, done. But you can also spend those blue gems on minions, followers, that will follow you around. They can't die, at least last time I checked. They do cost a lot though, 1,000 of that resource, and it takes a long time to get there, at least in my experience. So, but once you get them, I think they last, I don't know how long they last, hopefully until like forever. Like even if you die, they last. That would be That would make it worth 1,000. Otherwise, if you die once and it's gone, man, that would suck. From the aspect of sound design, this game has some pretty cool spell effects, and like the gory blood effects are pretty nice. A little standard, but they get the job done. The artwork is what honestly really shines. The music is... it doesn't really stand out to me anyway. I mean, I'm used to stuff like Risk of Rain and FTL. If you guys ever played those on Steam, those games had amazing soundtracks, like the best. Sometimes I'll play a game like this, like Hero Siege here, and I'll just put on that soundtrack in the background, and it really helps elevate the experience. But that said, I hope from future games from this developer that he can hire some really good work, some really good talent to just get some amazing sound work in here. Because with games like this, really awesome pumping music is what really gets you going. And yeah, otherwise this stuff here is just a little too standard for my taste. You know, regular. It sounds like something out of like out of a generic PlayStation role-playing game from back in the day. But it's like I said, serviceable. Now, while I do love the fact that the game is only $6, I think that's great. I do take a slight issue with a lot of the extra content, like more enemies, more loot, more zones, and more acts being behind paywalls. Now, granted, these paywalls are only $3 a piece, and classes as well. All the extra classes are also behind DLC. I would have liked to see maybe either the classes be free, or the extra items be free, or the extra acts be free, and all of that. Like, just make one or two things of that DLC free, or maybe he could have increased the cost of the game to, say, $10, and then all DLC past that point would have been free, except for maybe something truly spectacular, like an exclusive class with some exclusive cosmetic offerings, and maybe a new minion that is exclusive to that DLC. Stuff like that I think would have been cool. Because in other games that you see that have this type of gameplay and type of randomization and replayability, a lot of those games will offer more and more content free, because that's what this game thrives on. It thrives on that randomness and replayability to get the job done, to be fun. So, like I said, it would have been nice to have all that content be free in some form or fashion, but I mean, it's $13 right now to get everything, and honestly, I'm just nitpicking at this point. It's a pretty solid deal, $13 for all of this, man. So all in all, guys, if you play on Steam occasionally and you're looking for a game that's relatively on the cheaper side, it's an indie game with some great artwork, tons of replayability, tons of randomness. If you like games like the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, Risk of Rain, and all of those, then you will like this game as well, as it offers a lot of the same experiences with a lot of cool weaponry and fast gameplay and just tons of things exploding and guts flying everywhere and power-ups and making your character invincible. Very, very cool. I would 100% recommend it. It is a very good game, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking it up, or if you're not going to pick it up, let me know why. I'm curious. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like, thumbs up, share it, and if you have not subscribed, feel free to subscribe for more. I plan on doing more content like this. I'm going to call it something like my Indie Corner or Indie Hour, as I do really enjoy games like this a lot when I'm not playing other games like the Elder Scrolls Online and other big AAA titles. So yeah, I also plan on making some Let's Plays of this game and possibly streaming it if I can get OBS to play nice. So thank you again for watching. I'm gonna hop back in game now, and I will catch you guys next time.
You will die.